Is it possible to retire on Social Security alone with very little savings? We're going to look at 7 ways that a person can retire on Social Security alone. Thank you for watching. This is Richard with Wisdom Investor. In today's world with the high cost of living, it can be very challenging to retire. Now, a lot of folks go into retirement with very little savings or a small amount of savings, and they want to retire as early as possible and live on Social Security. So we're going to look at 7 ways that a person can retire on Social Security alone with very little savings. The average Social Security check in today's world is $1,500. That's the average. And then if you take a couple, if they were both making $1,500, that's about $3,000 per month. So we're going to look at some ways to possibly maximize your Social Security money so that you can live in retirement on just Social Security. Now, if you have not retired yet, right now is a great time to start looking at your expenses and also figure out what your Social Security is going to be and take a look at your savings and try to determine how long your savings can last. If you're still in your 50s, you have plenty of time to still get this all together. As we get into our 60s, though, it becomes a little bit more difficult. Okay, let's look at area number 1 on ways to retire on Social Security only. First thing we want to take a look at is our debt. Start looking at ways you can eliminate debt. If you have not retired yet, try to pay down the mortgage if you own a house as much as possible before you retire. Those who can get their house paid off going into retirement find that it's much easier to cover all the expenses on Social Security only. If you have a situation where you're not able to pay down the mortgage now, take a look at the options of refinancing the mortgage. If you can save approximately 2% on what you're currently paying now on your mortgage, it typically makes sense to do this. Also, look at credit card debt. You want to eliminate credit card debt as quickly as possible, and any car payments, get those taken care of. In addition to those debts, if there's any doctor bills, try to get those paid off before you go into retirement. Number 2 method is add a roommate. Now, adding a roommate, if this is what you want to do and it's going to work out for you, can generate an extra $500 to $700 per month. Add a roommate prior to retiring to generate extra cash flow to do some of those things we just talked about, like paying down your house payment or paying off your credit card debt. Number 3 on the list is control your expenses. Start looking right now before you go into retirement where you can cut expenses. If your budget's really tight, you could go to the library and use the internet at the library as one example. Cable TV bills, and you could eliminate your cable TV charges. If you have gym membership, you may want to eliminate the gym membership and just do exercises at your house or out in the park. Also, you could walk more. Maybe you can walk to the store, and that would allow you to save some of your gas expense. The 4th way is, if this is possible, move to a less expensive area of the country. Now, this may or may not be practical for you. You may be living near all your family and you just cannot move. But in some situations, people can relocate and move to a less expensive area. Here's a list of 10 states with the lowest cost of living. Now, these are states a person could possibly move to help lower some of their cost of living. Number 5 on the list is delay Social Security. Instead of retiring at 62, you may want to retire at 64 or 65 and work a little longer so you can save more money. Now, when we talk about delaying Social Security, there's a couple things you want to understand. One of those is, what is your full retirement age? If you're born in 1960 and later, 67 is your full retirement age. That's when you receive your full Social Security benefits. Now, if you're born in 1955, your full retirement age would be 66 and 2 months. It's important to understand when your full retirement age is, because if you retire sooner than that, you're going to receive less money in benefits. Here's an example here. Now, this example, full retirement age was 66, so they received 100% of their benefits. However, if this person retired at 62, they would only get 75% of their benefits. For example, if at age 66 their benefit was $1,500, but they decided to retire at 62, the benefit now would only be $1,125. So that's going to make it a lot more difficult to try to cover expenses if you retire early. Now, if you waited to retire at age 70, your benefit would actually grow from 66 to age 70 by 8% per year. Now, if you just retired and started Social Security this year and you're finding it's just not working out, there is a situation where you can restart your Social Security at a later time and do a redo. Now, keep in mind, if you decide to take your Social Security at a later time, it will continue to grow, but whatever you have collected so far in that first year, you will have to pay it back. Now, if it's been more than 1 year, you cannot do the redo or the restart. Another strategy to maximize Social Security survivor benefits, here's how that works. Once one of you passes away, your 2 monthly Social Security checks will go down to 1, and the survivor will receive whichever amount is larger. One common strategy is for the higher earner to delay taking Social Security as long as possible to maximize the benefit for the survivor. Now, if you have not retired yet, your best solution at this point is to try to save as much money as possible. Social Security was really designed to only pay about 40% of a person's retirement. But in this day and age, many people forego saving and they have to rely on Social Security alone. So you want to start as early as possible and save as much money as you possibly can. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Thank you for watching.